It's not a shock. We've known how sick she's been, and especially the last 5 days, my heart's pounding. I'm never nervous on camera, but I'm...
We are all in mourning over the loss of the Grease star Olivia Newton-John. She was a singer, an actress, but most importantly, an advocate for breast cancer. Despite all the great things she had going on in her life, she always had to fight one of the most difficult battles that ended up taking her life this August. And now that some days from her death have passed, her family finally revealed what happened to Olivia. So what were her last few days like? And what did her family have to say about her death? Before we go through how it all ended, let's take a look at how it all started. Her journey was a long one, but it was good nevertheless. She was born in Cambridge in the UK in 1958. Olivia always knew she was born to be a star, and she proved herself and the whole world right. Ever since Olivia was little, she always worked towards becoming an artist. She even started her own girl band named Soul 4, and she was only 14, and then won a singing competition. But this wasn't just any singing competition, it was the opportunity that paved the way for her to become as successful as she was. And that was all because she won a free trip to London, where her career kick-started. Olivia released her first solo album, If Not For You, when she was 23, and it was an instant hit. The album even had a track written by Bob Dylan, and it entered the top 25 in the United States. It's easy to say it was a success. Her singing career was booming, and she was winning award after award. She even represented Britain in 1974's Eurovision singing competition Long Live Love, where she went against ABBA. All of this helped her gain some popularity, but there's one movie that really exploded her stardom, and that's 1978's Grease. Olivia was cast as Sandy, playing right next to John Travolta. Olivia barely had any acting experience at this time, and yet she gave an outstanding performance as Sandy. It's a good thing John convinced her to take the part when she was considering rejecting it. I couldn't have done the film if I hadn't met John because I wasn't sure about doing it. He convinced me, Olivia said. Olivia sang 3 of the most famous songs in the movie: You're the One That I Want, Summer Nights, and Hopelessly Devoted to You. And not only did her career path change, but her style also changed. Who we knew as the sweet girl in frilly dresses before would turn into a spicy, risky woman in leather and spandex. And everyone was loving this new version of her. It only went up from there. She used this new persona to make her biggest hit Physical and hit all the charts. The song was even banned from a few radio stations because of the lyrics. That's how much this new Olivia had changed. She appeared in a few more movies and musicals, made many new bangers, and quickly became America's sweetheart. I've had many lives in music. I've had country when I started, then I crossed over into pop, she told CNN. I had Xanadu and Grease, many songs in between. I feel very grateful. I have such a large repertoire to choose from. After all these good years, it started going downhill in 1992. This was the same year when Olivia lost her father and first felt a lump in her breast, and later got diagnosed with breast cancer. This was only the beginning. She was treated back then, but almost 2 decades later, cancer came back, again in 2013. This time it was her shoulder, and then in 2017 it returned to her back. All the 30 years she spent fighting cancer, she had to undergo partial mastectomy, chemotherapy, and breast reconstruction. But through all this, Olivia was strong, and used this as an opportunity to inspire many other women going through the same thing. I feel lucky that I'm experiencing it for the 3rd time, you know? You have to find the silver lining. There's good in every bad situation. Olivia talked about her experience with cancer. I'm very positive. I'm human. I have my moments of fear and anxiety like everybody does, but generally I choose to be positive because you create your world by what you think. And if you think dark thoughts, you're going to create a dark world. I think it's very important to keep that positive message in your head, she said. You know, if you have a difficult moment, music is always a great healer. Maybe what helped her be so positive and bright through all this was that she channeled all her time into advocating for breast cancer, and she didn't have time to let the dark thoughts get to her. When you're going through breast cancer for a lot of years and you go through a lot of things, you really learn grace and what other people are suffering, she said. I think that's why I wanted to help other people, because I've been there, and I don't want other people to go through what I've gone through if that's possible at all. That's what inspires me. I don't think of myself as sick with cancer. I choose not to see it as a fight either because I don't like war. I don't like fighting whatever it is, whether it's outside or an actual war inside my body. I choose not to see it that way. I want to get my body healthy and back in balance. Part of that is your mental attitude to it. If you think, poor me, or I'm sick, then you're going to be sick, Olivia said. On August 8th, the world received the heartbreaking news that Olivia Newton-John had passed away after almost 30 years of battling cancer. Olivia's husband, John Easterling, wrote on Instagram, "Dame Olivia Newton-John passed away peacefully at her ranch in Southern California this morning, surrounded by family and friends. We ask that everyone please respect the family's privacy during this very difficult time. Olivia has been a symbol of triumphs and hope for over 30 years, sharing her journey with breast cancer. He then followed up with another post, which was a love letter to Olivia. Olivia, our love for each other transcends our understanding. Every day we expressed our gratitude for this love that could be so deep, so real, and so natural. At Olivia's deepest essence, she was a healer, using her mediums of song, words, of touch. She was the most courageous woman I've ever known. Her bandwidth for genuinely caring for people, nature, and all creatures almost eclipses what is humanly possible. In her most difficult times, she always had the spirit, the humor, and the willpower to move things into the light. And he ended it with, "Our family deeply appreciates the vast ocean of love and support that has come our way." It has now been revealed that Olivia's death didn't come as a shock to the family. Her niece, Toddy Goldsmith, said that the medications and treatments weren't working anymore, and her last days were harder than usual. Olivia wasn't even walking on her own anymore, and she was under full-time care. It's not a shock. We've known how sick she's been, especially in the last 5 days. It wasn't just the cancer that got her. It was other complications, being in a hospital and with a very susceptible immune system. She got secondary infections. She really went down in the past 5-6 days. It wasn't enough, she said. She really struggled with a lot of pain. Her niece Toddy even told us how her last conversation with Olivia went. "I couldn't get to America in time and I wanted to say goodbye, so I asked him if he could hold the phone up to her ear," Toddy said. "But he got me on FaceTime, so I managed to see her. I told her all the things I needed to say." She said, "She was leaving us, but I feel like she got it. She was really skinny and unwell, and I said to her, 'Are you afraid of dying?' And she said, 'I'm not afraid. I've done more in my life than I could have ever imagined.'" Her death might have not been a shock, but it still hit everyone pretty hard. Olivia's daughter, Chloe Latanzi, left a tearful voicemail to a reporter that made a touching tribute to Olivia.
"I just want you to know that she's free from pain now, and she fought so hard, and I was with her every step of the way."
Chloe also posted a video of the two singing together with the caption, "You are my lighthouse, Mama, my safe place, my heart space. It has been my honor and continues to be my honor to be your baby and best friend. You're an angel on earth, and everyone touched by you has been blessed. I love you forever, my life giver, my teacher, my mama." After her news, the internet was full of people posting their condolences, grieving and remembering the star that Olivia was. Her co-stars and friends all posted statements about Olivia as well, including her lifelong friend, John Travolta. "My dearest Olivia, you made all of our lives so much better. Your impact was incredible. I love you so much. We will see you down the road and we will all be together again. Yours from the first moment I saw you and forever, your Danny, your John," he said. "I was also blessed to be in her presence on many other occasions, and she was one of the kindest, most generous, and lovely people I've ever met. She will be missed. She will be remembered. She will be loved. Olivia, I honestly love you," Mariah Carey said. And Rick Springfield also tweeted, "Sweet Olivia has gone home. She was a beautiful soul, and I know of no one who didn't love her or know what a great humanitarian she was. The world is out of balance when we lose these magnificent people. Godspeed, Livy. We will all meet again." And we have to mention all the fans and supporters who made sure to share their condolences too. I'm also thinking of the thousands of women currently going through breast cancer treatment. Olivia Newton-John's death today will be very difficult for you too. She would know that. R.I.P. brave, lovely Olivia Newton-John. The light you have shown will never be extinguished. Olivia might have spent the last moments of her life feeling physically weak, but we know her soul shined as bright as ever. She wasn't afraid of dying because she knew the legacy she would leave behind, and how much of an impact her cancer journey has had on other women going through the same thing. Olivia Newton-John was a strong and amazing woman, and she will be forever remembered. If you liked this video, make sure to watch this other one.